What's up guys, SB Architects here. Today I want to show you a different method how to export your model from your 3D software to Twinmotion. Normally we are exporting our model from this DataSmith plugin. We are used to click this export and import in Twinmotion and modify in there and render. For this scene you can see different models, some of them modeled and some of them imported from other websites, Cosmos and etc. And I use them as a proxy model in this mix for rendering in V-Ray or Corona Render. As you can see here, this is a proxy model. It's useless to export this model to Twinmotion as it is. I'm going to delete all of the copies of that object. And I click this one and we are going to click this import as mesh. Now it's in the center of your file. Let's locate it. If you hit G, you will see the grid and realize that it's in the center. And this time we are going to click this export selected. After that we are going to input our name. It's gonna be chair and click save. After that, for instance, we have this ceiling lamp. We are going to follow same method. Click that. This is a group. This suspend group. And here we can see it's a simple model, not proxy. Therefore, we can direct the export to DataSmith. But this time we will have to move this object to the center of the grid. Let's activate the group again. And we are going to align this to the chair. That will be easier to move this to the center of the file. From here, let's click that, click chair. Our placement in Twinmotion will be from the top of this lamp, so that we are going to move this lamp top point to the center. And then we can export now. Export selected. We are going to call this ceiling lamp. Click save. Okay, why are we doing this? Let me explain. With this method, you can use your models as a library for your actual render or incoming renders. In Twinmotion, you can easily drag and drop your ceiling lamp chair into your model and copy as that style. And also controlling them will be much more easier. Let's push forward. Here we can see a table and accessories onto that. They are proxy models. We are going to import them and export. I'm gonna call this meal1. After that, I'll hide that from the max with this hide selection button. And let's repeat this process for all of the accessory objects. This is alright. This is going to be kitchen table and going to be exported solo, and also this chair will be exported single as well. By the way, for aligning, if you are click minimum and only check the Z position, both of your models will be aligned as minimum. In this situation, it's grid. Like so. And then we can export. Chair 2. We have these buttons. I think they are important. I'm going to export as library too. It must be aligned to the wall. Therefore, I'm going to rotate this object as if there was a wall here. Again, and then export. Alright, here you can see I have exported all of the objects that is necessary. You can see only raw models, which is easier to model. If you want to change something in your project, you can just make your changes. After that, export easily with only that. That will be very quick and easier to control. With this method, you will save so much time in Twinmotion. Our final step will be exporting this Max file to Twinmotion. Alright, here we are in Twinmotion and I will delete this box. Actually, this starting base, group, ground, and landscape, because this is going to be an interior scene. We don't need those. After that, let's click import, click plus, click open. Here you can see our data image files exported from the 3ds Max. We are going to select all and click open. Here you can see 21 files selected and collapse keep hierarchy, full precision UV is on, full precision normal is off, process mesh, and that's all. Click import. As you can see, they are started to importing. Here, Twinmotion see duplicated material. It asks us which material is going to use. Let's click keep both. And here you can see our files exported from Max. These are all of our files. It's the model. It's the main model. I want to work in the center of the Twinmotion world. Therefore, I'm going to click the main file and want to move that to the center, actually near to the center. But as you can see, it's pivot editing. Well, center editing pivot is the center of the file. We need to fix this. To achieve it, we will click this arrow and click this arrows again. It's pivot editing. Let's just push and click center. After that, maybe we can move a little bit up like so, and to apply we will click once more. Now we can easily move this model where we want it to be easily. Also, you can directly input your coordinates from here. I'll input here 0. There you go. This is our main model. If we look at the original file, we will see this. But here we cannot see because it's not two-sided material. Actually, it's there. This can be easily fixed by activating this pick material and from the miscellaneous, clicking two-sided. There we go. Now we can see our cabins. Now this step we are going to place our models one by one, but with an easier way. I'll show you how. First, we will select our model, our object, from the scene graph and hold Shift and click. It's very easy. Because of we adjusted the Z value of the exported objects in the Max, it will be easily positioned where you click on surface with Shift click, of course. Second, we have table accessories. Let's click that and click table. Plate, picture, it was here. There is a materialing problem. No problem, we can fix it later. Picture 2 and 3. We have oven here. Meal 1 was there. Meal 2, coffee maker. Floor pendant was here. Curtain, something like this. Chair 2, our ceiling lamp. First we will place them, then adjust their materials and save as user library. And the main file. Now we are going to set up our materials and save them as user library. To achieve it, first we need to change the global illumination method to lumen or path tracing. This tutorial series are about lumen, so I'm going to change the render engine to lumen. With lumen, we can change our materials easily. If not, we cannot see the real reflection, real global illuminations. We are likely to make mistakes. Now we can see it better. I'll go to Material, Metal, and use Chrome for this one. And change roughness. I want to see some reflection. Therefore, we reduce the roughness value. This is going to be black plastic. Now we can save this. Let's click the chair, library, user with plus. We created a new category. Let's click, and from the right of the window in the scene graph, we will click this add to user library. We can delete this, and for the next projects, we can just drag and drop. There must be 3 additional chairs. Let's instance them number 3. There we go. Let's change this marble material. Way more better. This is going to be ceramic. You can make it by changing roughness, or from the material, from the tiles, we have this predetermined material which is ceramic base. We can use it directly. We can change its light also. And in addition to that, we can place a light there. By the way, to see the light better, I'm going to deactivate the auto exposure and use like so. Now I'm going to click this material from here and drag to this folder. Or we can create another group for that. Let's right click, click cut, click seeding lamp, right click, and click paste here. After that, we will go to library, our category, and we're going to determine this as object. Now we can delete this and use as an library object. It comes with its own light, so it will be easier for your incoming projects. Alright, I have changed all of the models nearly, only I have left these pictures. Now let's fix them. Actually, it's very easy. We will only change the opacity of the glass. Let's hit the T, use color picker, and change opacity. That's all. We can just drag and drop same material to here and here. Now we can select our picture, rotate, and place to a nice place where you want. We also have a curtain here, material, fabric. I have used this fine woven. Actually, it's a very nice curtain material, and that's all. Now we can go to lighting setup. As you can see, it's very yellowish. First, we need to change the background color. I want to see something behind the window. Therefore, I'm going to use HDRI environment map. Let's activate it. Right click that, go to library, outdoor, and maybe this one. Let's try. I don't know what's going to be. And increase intensity. I don't want to see rocks. I want to see trees. Maybe something like this. Actually, it's maximum value. Let's try increasing this value. I'm gonna input here one more 0, and our exposure is not enough. Let's make that around 4. It's very yellow. I think our sun is very strong. Let's reduce its intensity and reduce the intensity of the HDRI. Well, it's yellow because we have used artificial lights. For instance, we have used this one. To see them clearly, we will click this all and click this light. Let's input here 100. Sorry, this is color temperature. this one. Intensity, color. Way more better, and our spots. Okay, these values are enough, but it's very dark because we are not using a proper HDRI map for this scene. Let's try another one. Maybe this lakeside. Let's just drag and drop like this. And change the rotation and reduce the intensity. After that, from the exposure details, we have this ambience. Let's increase that and change the white balance to bluish. After that, I'll activate this local, increase the shadow, and increase the highlights. I'll just increase the intensity of the map. Maybe let's try this one. Yeah, these trees are way more better because they're far away. Intensity is strong. As you can see, now we can see a blue sky. We can increase the shadow and lighting quality from here. From scene detail, I'm going to make this 8 and increase the reflection quality to 2. I'll make this shadow to 50. I think this is well enough. If you want to try another one, we can just drag and drop. As you can see, the ambient light will be changed according to your HDRI. You can see red light coming inside. If you use this pens down, you will see a blue environment, blue ambient light, and much more. I think this will be good too because we have a dark sky and some trees around it. Let's just drag and drop. There we go. Let's rotate. From this view, I can see trees. Okay, well enough, but it's two-way blue. To make a realistic render, we must make it white. By the way, if you want to see this dark place in your render, you can switch to Backdrop HDRI, and from here, click Details, click the Center Backdrop, and you will see the terrain. Actually, since we have more green in the background, our scene turns to green. I'm going to click this view with this button and change the camera focal length and save that view first. From the camera effects, I'm going to activate the parallelism, click refresh, and then I want to make it lighter, brighter scene. So from the details, I will change the sun ascent direction from the location, but we cannot activate that. To activate it, we will uncheck this log sum to HDRI. Now we can change the sun position. Let's change the time. Something like this. Our sun is 100 now. Maybe 500. Yeah, way more better. 200, and we are going to change the white balance. To give that more contrast, I'll reduce the shadow. And make my light setup. As for the final small details remain, maybe you can go to your spotlight, pick up that material, and if you cannot, you can click here, from here, change the glow intensity, change color, and much more. For the last, I'll go to FX, change saturation and contrast, vignette and lens flare. I don't want to see lens dirt in my render, and I'm gonna make this height fog 0. That's all. And this is our render. In this render, we have learned how to export from your 3D modeler, 3ds Max, ArchiCAD, whatever, to Twinmotion. You know 2 different ways of exporting to Twinmotion, object by object or whole scene. Now you know how to adjust your materials, how to create libraries and use for your other projects and different lighting setups. I hope you have enjoyed with this tutorial. If so, please hit the like button. It's very important for YouTube algorithms. If you want to see similar tutorials like this one, that is the button you shall use. Alright, thank you for watching. Until next time, have a nice day. Bye. And if you are serious about learning ArchiCAD, you can go to my Patreon page. From there, I will be waiting for you. Alright, thank you for watching. Until next time, have a nice day. Bye.